good luck living life without movement.
Yeah, or fearing movement
Or
for that
fearing
matter.
movement.
Yeah,
Good
fearing
luck.
movement.
Like that sounds terrible. Sounds like a terrible life. If you have kids or grandkids or you want to eventually have kids, anything or anyone in your life that depends on you doing anything than sitting in a chair, movement is still something that you, I'm sure, want to do and want to get back to. So you're finding other ways of moving upper body stuff and moving around different ways,
That's
right?
important to note too.
So number one is identifying that moment of change in your mind, whether it's to lose weight, lose body fat, to be healthier, to move better, to get out of pain for a lot of people. Like I'm having knee pain on a regular basis. I'm having back pain, lower back pain, upper back pain, neck pain, any shoulder pain, whatever it is, having pain on a regular basis is not normal. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bent on Better podcast. That's right, where it all began. And we're here, Nick and I are here to not only know this information, but to share it, because what's the point of having it if we can't share it with the world and make everyone else better?
How do you build a habit? Right? If we start there, how do you build a long-lasting habit? That's the starting for building a habit. You try and develop something that you can do, not cold turkey necessarily, but you try to develop something that you want to accomplish in a way that doesn't build resentment, doesn't build like festering emotions that, over time you go, wow, I really hate that thing that I've been doing for so long.
For me, in high school, I've always been small. I'm 5'5", I feel like I'm 6'5", and I've always been around that like 145, 150 mark. And that was in high school the whole entire time. And then so I graduated high school and I realized that like I don't want to be small anymore. I don't want to be that little guy anymore. I realized that I wanted to change that. So I looked at my opportunities and said I could try to buy the shoes that can make me taller, like a short-term fix, right? I could try to do a bunch of stretching to make my muscles longer. Hope for the best, right? Hope for the best. But that's not true action. And what came was I realized that the gym and fitness was going to be my actionable step to changing who I want to be and how I want to be perceived. So I started going to the gym regularly. When I got into college, it was 5 days a week. I would go for like an hour to an hour and a half. But the precursor to that was like, okay, if I'm just gonna go to the gym, I also need to research this and figure it out. So I went from being 150 all the way up to 182. And at that time, 182 was like, I was husky. I was getting the meat sweats without even actually eating meat. I was just there. And so instead of identifying as small guy, small stature, small person, I want to be big guy, big muscles, like complete opposite. And I started doing these behavioral changes. And these behavioral changes then led to these habitual changes. And these habits were then part of my normal structured day. Identity versus behavior versus habitual things. Those are all the different components of what will make or break your journey. And too many people think
They accept it.
they just accept it. They think it's part of life.
I think they're damaged and they can't be repaired.
And then you rely on medicine or medications or over-the-counter or prescription. And I'm not saying that you can't be sad and that you are unable to feel those emotions that you're feeling around those pains, because that's real. You're dealing with it. But if you're dealing with pain, you don't have to deal with it. You can get out of it.
Simplifying strength for longevity across the lifespan. Try to take a bird's eye view from what you're doing, look at it, and say to yourself, could I do this for another year, for 5 more years? Maybe I'm not doing this exact thing in 5 years, but could I do something similar to this in 5 years? Maybe the reps don't look the same. Maybe even the movements don't look exactly the same. It's okay. At the end of the day though, can you still expect to show up and do something similar, or at least just get moving? And commit to that because it's been so beneficial for your health and can continue to be beneficial for your health. And then it gets down to what you discovered, where certain things inside, outside the body, right? They're going to weigh on you different ways. We're talking about stress. We're talking about overtraining. We're talking about getting your diet right. We're talking about getting your mindset right. All those things kind of come as fine tuners. If you can commit to that, man, the difference you can see.
This isn't new information. Be mindful though, and be wary of just doing regular Google researches, because you can look up things on Google of like, should you squat if your knees hurt? And it's gonna be like, no, don't squat if your knees hurt. Or don't lift weights if your knees hurt. But like, good luck going to the grocery store and picking up that flour bag that's on the bottom shelf. Like, good luck picking that up without bending your knees if you have hurt knees. Like, that's part of regular life. Instead of thinking of fitness as this vehicle to get you to your goal, which is fine to get started, right? Everyone's got to get started in some way. My goal was to get bigger because I wanted to be a bigger guy. I want to be a little bud. But in that journey, I realized I found myself. I found a passion for fitness. I want you to think right now. Think about what you're currently doing with your fitness routine. Is that something that your body will be able to sustain and continue to do for the next 10 years?
I find if you're coming in for your workout and you're experiencing this dread over something like that, maybe there's a bit of overtraining going on, or maybe your goals aren't quite right. Maybe trying to burn the 777th calorie on your watch, if you're trying to do it just for what the watch says, do it for the watch. I think there's something fundamentally wrong there. I think that the shift of mindset of I would like to show up for my training or my practice daily. And if I don't feel great today, if I feel terrible, maybe I just do body weight for half of those movements. Whatever, as long as I keep moving through those ranges of motion and doing those things.
Good luck, like for real, it's like good luck living life without movement.
Yeah, or fearing movement
Or
for that
fearing
matter.
movement.
Yeah,
Good
fearing
luck.
movement.
Like that sounds terrible. It sounds like a terrible life. If you have kids or grandkids, or you want to eventually have kids, if you have anything or anyone in your life that depends on you doing anything than sitting in a chair, and even people, if you're chair bound, movement is still something that you, I'm sure, want to do and want to get back to. So you're finding other ways of moving upper body stuff and moving around different ways,
That's
right?
important to note too.
Strength training as a foundation can get you to the kind of changes and lifestyle that you want to have to be able to do different things.
You can apply it to your mindset. You can apply it to your relationships with your family, with your friends.
Nothing is going to change in your life if you don't change yourself. And doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So it's time to take note, look at what you're doing from a bird's eye view, and ask yourself, can I continue to do this for 10 years? If you can, keep going. You've got this. You can do it. I believe in you. And if you don't believe in yourself, I believe in you.
Hey, it's Matt over at Bent on Better. I'm the owner here, and listen, our mission is to make strength beautiful, make fitness pain-free, and make healthy weight management simple and sustainable for busy adults. So if you're looking for a change, looking for something different, looking for something better, come check us out here at Bent on Better.